Before Rome and Egypt, there were the Sumerians. Imagine an ancient version of Silicon Valley. That's what the Sumerians built in what we now call southern Iraq. They were the first people to do almost everything. They invented most of the things we take for granted today. The idea of living in a city started with the Sumerians. They built Uruk, the world's first city. This wasn't just a few mud huts gathered together. We're talking organized, busy urban life with roads, canals, and even temples. This was the New York City of its time, with 50,000 people living, trading, worshiping, and innovating. Over 5,000 years ago, Uruk was the heart of Mesopotamian civilization, complete with specialized workers, a class system, and even the world's first urban planning. The very first words humans put to writing were done by the Sumerians. They invented cuneiform, a form of writing etched into clay tablets. This wasn't just scribbles. It was an entire language system that allowed them to communicate, record transactions, and even write down epic stories like the Epic of Gilgamesh. Someone over 5,000 years ago used a stick and a clay tablet to write the very first human literature, basically the grandfather of every great novel you've ever read. You might want to thank the Sumerians next time you're stuck in traffic, because they invented the wheel, but it wasn't originally for chariots or carts. They actually used it first for pottery, a simple but brilliant solution for spinning clay. Eventually, they applied it to transportation, and boom, they gave humanity a rolling start. The invention of the wheel was monumental, like the iPhone release of the ancient world. It revolutionized everything from farming to warfare and trade. It's hard to imagine human history without it. You know how society would descend into chaos if we had no rules? The Sumerians understood that too. They created one of the first law codes. And while it's not as famous as Hammurabi's code, the Sumerian laws helped lay down the concept of organized justice. These weren't just rules for the sake of rules. They covered property rights, marriage, and even beer. Yup, beer was serious business to the Sumerians. They even had laws about fair distribution, ensuring nobody cheated anyone out of their barley brew. Speaking of beer, it wasn't just invented by the Sumerians, it was a cornerstone of their social life. The Sumerians loved their beer so much that they worshipped a goddess of beer named Ninkasi. They even wrote a hymn in her honor, which conveniently doubled as a recipe for brewing. So if you've ever had a cold one after a long day, you have the Sumerians to thank for figuring it all out. Let's talk about education. Who do we thank for that endless cycle of homework and tests? The Sumerians, of course. They created the first schools, known as adubas. These schools taught reading, writing, and arithmetic. Scribes learned the complicated cuneiform script, ensuring that knowledge could be passed on. The scribes were basically the first graduates in human history, holding prestigious positions because they could do something almost no one else could, which was write. The Sumerians didn't stop at reading and writing. They also laid the foundation for mathematics. They developed a sophisticated number system based on the number 60, which is why we have 60 seconds in a minute and 360 degrees in a circle today. Their mathematical advancements helped with everything from land division to constructing their famous ziggurats, making them the first true mathematicians in history. How did humans figure out when to plant crops, celebrate holidays, or just know when the rent was due? The Sumerians gave us the first calendar. They divided the year into 12 months, based on the cycles of the moon. Their understanding of astronomy helped them predict the flooding of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, which was vital for agriculture. Their calendar was so effective, it became the foundation for many other calendars, including the one we use today. The Sumerians were also the inventors of accounting. To keep track of their goods and transactions, they used clay tokens and tablets to record quantities, which eventually evolved into cuneiform. This early form of bookkeeping helped them manage trade, taxes, and agricultural production, and laid the foundation for the accounting systems we use today. Here's one for the gamers out there. The Sumerians were also the first to create an actual game. Known as the Royal Game of Ur, this was one of the earliest known games of strategy and luck. People would gather to play this game for entertainment, similar to how we play chess or Monopoly today. It's amazing to think that board games as a form of entertainment have been bringing people together for over 4,500 years. There are countless other things the Sumerians were the first to do, including pottery, hydraulic engineering, textile mills, and so much more. They were the original innovators who gave us the first taste of civilization. They invented so many things that shaped our modern lives. It's almost like they pressed start on humanity's creative evolution. So, next time you hop in your car, write in your planner, or even just crack open a beer after work, think about the Sumerians. If you found this dive into ancient history fascinating, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more.